Hey everyone! I wasn't planning on making this into a card video as I was kind of whipping it up right before a thunderstorm was supposed to hit yesterday. But I thought while I was making it, I would turn on the camera and then if I was, okay with it, I would just edit it and upload it. So I was happy with it. So yes, here it is, edited and uploaded. This is for my Bellarific Friday challenge. I don't know if I've mentioned it in a video, but I mentioned it on my blog that I am now on the Stamping Bella design team. So I've been on the team for a couple weeks now, so woohoo! And yeah, this week's challenge was a sketch. So I pulled out my Stamping Bella Uptown Girl Isabel Loves Her Ice Cream image and stamped it onto some Copic quality 110-pound cardstock with my Favorite Things black licorice hybrid ink, which works really well with Prismacolor pencils and odorless mineral spirits, or in this case I'm using the Spectrum Noir pencils and odorless mineral spirits. And like always, if I remember, I'll post an annotation here and below the video to my Prismacolor pencil and OMS info video, just because I get a lot of questions about like the jar I use and all those sorts of like technical questions, and it's all answered in that previous video that I posted. It's been over a year now, I think. So hopefully that will help you guys out. But yeah, I'm just adding the colored pencils from the Spectrum Noir set. I'm using the Essential set and the Primary set and just grabbing different sets of colors. So I colored her skin and her hair, and then using some pinks and a tiny little bit of red to do her fun little dress there, and just adding the darker colors in the lower areas of the dress to create those nice little like pleats and folds just to give it some dimension. And then for the ice cream, I'm just grabbing colors at random. I just thought since there's so many scoops, they can be just every flavor imaginable. So I'm not being super particularly careful with the coloring since this is such a like smaller-ish image, like with small areas. You don't have to be really precise. I just wanted the colors to be nicely blended. And like I said, I was doing this before a thunderstorm, so even though I've sped up this coloring part here, this is like at 800%. I do not color this fast. I wish I could. But even then, I was making this card quite quickly because I was worried that the power was going to go out and I wouldn't get it emailed off in time and all that fun stuff, because nothing like everything getting delayed and life interrupting things. And yeah, I'm always, procrastinating and last minute. So yeah. Anyway. Once I got most of the image colored, I added a little bit of blue in the background. You really can't see it, but it just bothered me to leave it completely bare. So I just really lightly colored it and then just blended it out with the mineral spirits and a stump. And then for this grass, after I colored and blended it, I just took the same 3 greens and starting with the lightest and then working my way to the darkest, you just flick the color to create little grass stems. With an image like this, it's really easy because you've kind of got that guide of the already drawn grass stems there. But you can do this, of course, with any little image that you want to make it look like it's standing outside. And yeah, you just flick them in different directions, do different lengths, do some longer, some shorter, little dots. It doesn't have to be precise because, again, it's grass. But yeah, using several different colors just gives it a little bit more of a real look and just adds a little something fun, and it takes a few seconds. So I don't do it too often, but when there's images like this where they're kind of supposed to be outside, it just gives it that extra something. So once I was done coloring the image, I did my same old, and I'm going to stamp the sentiment from this little set onto some vellum that I trimmed down. So this is lightweight. This is like 21-pound vellum. And I inked up the stamp with My Favorite Things Sweet Tooth Pigment ink. It worked with this sentiment. Sometimes pigment inks can be a little bit harder to use because they're too thick, and you'll lose the detail. But you're still able to read this, so it's fine. But if it's an image that's either really detailed or it's, really small words, I would probably use Versamark because then it's not going to like ooze up between, if you know what I mean. But it worked, and then always using a detail white embossing powder makes a big difference as well. So you don't have like big glops of embossing powder and totally ruining a fine little sentiment like that. So I rounded all the edges of the main image here with my little EK Success corner rounder punch, and then of course I had to add some blings. So I just grabbed my clear Wink of Stella, and you can just, this time the light kind of picked up nicely. Since I had my overhead lights on, you can kind of see the shimmer it gives. Like, if you don't have any Wink of Stella, I highly recommend it. They are just, I love them. Love them. I love the clear, and I love all the colors. I don't know how I lived with my crafting without them. So added it to pretty much everything and then did a second coat on the ice cream just to give it a little bit extra sparkle, because it's one of those things too where, yeah, that's why I have such a hard time showing it on videos and pictures, because in real life when it hits the light you can see it, but it's not like in your face like some sparkles. Even though honestly I wanted to add stickles to this, I thought it would have been so fun, but like I said, I was running out of time, so I didn't have time to put stickles on it and let it dry. So I mounted that onto a piece of dark pink cardstock, and I'm going to mount this onto some pattern paper from the Doodlebug Craft in color pad. I just thought the little light blue with the polka dots would be cute with this little image. And then I'm going to mount that on a piece of lighter pink cardstock. It just kind of pulls the pink in that I colored on her dress. And then the sentiment, I actually wasn't happy with at this point because it kind of just faded in. You couldn't really see it. And I'm following its sketch, like I said, from the Bellerific Friday challenge, so I kind of wanted the sentiment to go across just like the sketch. So to kind of remedy this, I ended up just cutting down a piece of Doodlebug cardstock, and I'm going to adhere that over so you kind of lose some of the, fun frills of her dress, but it still works, and then that way I can still use my embossed sentiment there. So I'm going to just wrap it around my card front, and then as always just tape it down with some Scotch tape. So that just holds it in place. That's what I like to do with vellum, because vellum is just so finicky. I have yet to find an actual adhesive, even when they claim to be, for vellum. I have yet to find an adhesive that doesn't show. So you either have to wrap it around or, use brads or eyelets or just creative little ways to adhere it. So this is why it's always my go-to, to just wrap it and tape it and then you can't see it. So once I was done with that, I adhered it to my white card base, so standard A2 size, so 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And then I inked up the Stamping Valley image again, this time with MFT Snow Cone ink, and stamped it right on the inside of the card. And then I still had a bit of that polka dot paper left over, so I trimmed that down, just adhered it to the bottom just to finish it off and give it a little extra something. And that's all there was to it. So as always, there will be a link below the video to my blog post with links to all the supplies used, as well as the challenge for next week for Bellerific Friday. So yeah, always make sure to check out the info box below, and that's all there is to it for today. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye!